All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, Dave Calafiore along with Drew Griffin. Welcome to our Build a Bot session today. Today, we're just going to go, you're going to like watch over my shoulder as I build out a demo, very simple demo customer service bot for a prospective client that I want to give a demo to. And I'll just kind of do it while you're watching. Drew, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I think this is good reps, right? So, we
Sure.
were talking very briefly before we went live here. And I think what's amazing to me is the amount of opportunities we all have, all around us. There's like everyday uh, encounters that we have to, build out some of these types of AI assistants and agents and bots and all kinds of really cool stuff. And unfortunately, you ran into a situation that
Yeah.
was a personal situation that now
I'll
became
tell the story. It's a fun, I'll tell the
yeah.
story.
You know,
Um,
it's like turning lemons into lemonade, and it truly
yeah.
is, right? So here's a huge opportunity. But why don't you go ahead and share the story, because I think it's
Yeah.
going to be pretty interesting.
So 2 Sundays ago, we were sitting, my three sons and I were sitting in our basement. Whoa, that's weird. I don't know why that happens. The balloons going on. Um, we were sitting in our basement watching the Steelers game. It was a Sunday afternoon, and halftime came. And I've got three boys, and they're active and they're crazy. It's just my house is like WrestleMania 24 hours a day. So we were watching a game, and then at halftime came, and then they just started running around, chasing each other. They were shooting Nerf guns at each other, wrestling, and then all of a sudden, I just heard like ah, and I usually ignore it because 9 times out of 10 it's nothing. Like it's just one of them overreacting or trying to get the other one in trouble. Um, but this time, my one of my sons came around the corner and he had a mouthful of blood. Like his hands were filled with blood. His whole mouth was bloody. And my little guy Marco took a ping pong paddle and whipped it at him, hit him in the mouth, and just knocked his front tooth out, straight out. The entire tooth came out in one piece, root and everything. It was just gone. And I was just like, I started to like freak out. I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
You're
It's
in
Sunday
trouble.
afternoon, right? Um, so lo and behold, my middle son Max, one of his friends. His mom is a dentist, and we're pretty close with them. And I happened just to send her a text message, telling her what happened, and she's like, "Oh my God, probably should go to the emergency room." But then she's like, "You know what? Just wait. I'm home. I'll go to my office. Meet me there, and I'll take a look at it." And thank God for that because it actually saved his tooth. We were able to find the tooth. She's like, keep the tooth in your mouth to keep it alive until you get to the office, which is weird. But got it, brought it there. She put it back in, kind of stitched it up a bit and put a splint in and really saved the tooth so far. He's had a couple root canals so far to kind of fix things up, but it's looking good. And, we were there for like an hour and a half or so, and we're just chatting and talking about business while she was working on them. And um, I thought, it might be a nice gesture um, to put together one of these bots for them and maybe just gift it to them, actually. Maybe not a potential paying client, but just somebody, a friend in the community who owns a business who I can do something cool for
Yeah.
pretty easily. And what I'm going to do is kind of put this demo together for them, show it to them, and kind of go back and forth a little bit with them to kind of get it fine tuned the way that they want it, with the type of information that they want to give out, that sort of stuff. So we'll just kind of take you through that process today. Does that make sense for everybody? I think it's kind of a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We're as business owners, as agency owners, as now, AI agents and AI assistants and bot builders. We're so eager and ready to go out there and sell something. Where an opportunity like this pops up, and no monetization, really being considered here. You're doing something as a good gesture, and who knows, maybe something comes of that a little bit later when they
Sure.
finally get it on their website, and you can use and leverage that to impress upon other dentists or orthodontists and other types of businesses where you've done something really good for them. And certainly they did a great job for your son, and
Yep.
I'm sure you feel bad, I'm sure your wife feels bad, and sometimes you just
Oh
need to
yeah.
lean in on your friendships, and I think this is a huge opportunity.
We were so
And
appreciative. We were very appreciative. We brought them a big gift basket with some gift cards and some wine and stuff. But still, I just still want to show my appreciation. And you're right. Like, she's very well connected in our community.
yeah,
Um, she's been a dentist for a long time. She's got a lot of other dentist friends who, I might be able to connect with via her at some point. You never know. So just kind of a cool thing to do. Hey, if you're watching live, say hello. Say hello in the chat. We'd love to see who's here hanging out with us. It's always cool if this is a little bit interactive. Feel free to ask questions as we're going along. And Drew, may as well just get into it, huh?
yeah, perfect opportunity to do a little bit of a build a bot session and show how we would go about building out one of these AI assistants on behalf of a dental client or potential dental client.
Yeah. And honestly, like, let's I want to talk a little bit about building these bots out. Hey, Dara, how are you? Happy to see you hanging out with us today. Um, we get questions about, HIPAA compliance and privacy and stuff. And I think it's a really, smart thing to be thinking about. Our goal when making tools or bots like this for a business that's in the medical field is keeping it simple. We're not trying to collect personal information. This bot is not for booking appointments. In fact, most medical facilities don't want you having any part in actually booking their appointments. It's complicated. Um, there's a lot that goes into scheduling in a medical facility, in a doctor's office, and your bot might actually, if you had the ability to do that, might make a mess for them. So really, your best bet is to kind of keep things simple. Just answer all of those frequently asked questions that these offices are getting all the time. What are your hours? What sorts of services do you provide? Where are the medical forms? All of those really simple questions, locations, hours, how do I make an appointment? And just keep it simple. You don't have to collect any data from anybody using the chatbot. All you're really trying to do is make life easier for the people and customers and potential customers of uh, that business who are visiting their website, right? Want to make it easier for them to find the information that they're looking for. And we can really easily set that up. We all can. Um, I think sometimes, Drew, as digital marketers, we kind of get caught up in this. Like, I want to just build this crazy tool that does everything. It's booking appointments. It's rescheduling appointments. It's giving medical advice. It's doing all this crazy stuff when that's probably not the best idea. Just keep things simple because you can scale simple. You can't scale complicated. You'll pull your hair out going nuts sitting in front of a computer, troubleshooting things that are going wrong, connections and API connections that are broken or have been updated and now they're not working all of a sudden, and you didn't realize it for 2 days. And the business that you had this connected for lost 2 days worth of appointments, and it causes headaches. As good as AI is, and as good as a lot of these tools are that can do this stuff, they're not perfect. And because of that, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I want to keep things simple. I just want to help visitors who are on the business's website get the answers to the questions they have, and kind of make it easy on myself, help the business's clients and customers, and that allows me to scale by keeping it simple. Who else we have? We have Wendy here. What's up, Wendy? Kim is here hanging out with us. Hey, Kim.
Okay.
Michael and Teresa Dance. I'm not sure who. Oh, Teresa. Maybe Teresa Robinson. Okay. Not sure who that is. World famous in Herbert Valley, Drew.
Local
Cool.
Scope Marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good
Cool.
to see everybody. Thanks for popping in here.
Awesome.
You're right, David. I think, keeping things simple sometimes also gives us the ability to do some fancy things down the line that isn't entirely front facing. Could you do a lot of that fancy stuff? Sure, we could do lots of complex, fancy stuff, but it's embarrassing when stuff like that breaks, and then you have to troubleshoot, and that's a very quick way to damage a reputation. So, our recommendation is keep it really, really simple, and simple will scale.
Yeah,
right? And
and also keep in mind, like sometimes think people don't realize this, but just these simple little tools that you can build blows like average business owners away who don't understand or even know what's capable with the technology. Just the ability to answer those simple, mundane, everyday, frequently asked questions that businesses are getting, like in a split second, blows business owners away. You don't have to do much more than that. Okay. Just keep it simple. That's our best recommendation. So let's start to build this out. We're inside of AskSpot. Let me see here. Let me just get to my businesses. Let's build out a new bot. So we're gonna do this for this customer here, the Smart Smile Family Dentistry. Okay, that's their website, and just put in their name here. We're gonna use the question and answer, the traditional style bot, and we'll hit create and pop in here. And we'll start to build this out. So the first thing we want to do is kind of give this some context and knowledge. We want to train it on the business. So let's go take a look. One thing we really recommend is, obviously you can scan all of the web pages of the website. It's pretty easy to do that with AskSpot, but it's not always a good idea to scan all of the web pages of a website. I think it's important to make sure that the pages that you're scanning, that you're giving the bot for context and knowledge, have real pertinent information. You don't want to fill up the bot's context and knowledge with just a bunch of random stuff, because in the end, that's what creates kind of the hallucinations and sometimes the inconsistencies in the replies and answers that it gives people to their questions. So make sure you're giving it only the most important information. Just because a website has 100 pages does not mean you should go and scan and give all 100 pages of that website to the bot. That makes sense, right, Drew? Like you just want to only give it the most important information that it needs to answer the questions that most people are going to be asking.
Yeah, I agree. It makes sense just to keep it straightforward, give it the most pertinent information, and start to think, as a bridge between the consumer and the professional, or the consumer and the business itself. Like, what's going to be the most important, frequently asked questions, and the things that you could probably be the surrogate on behalf of that business when somebody does eventually engage with that particular bot. I know that's going to cause a lot of, like, how do you decipher what's most important, what's not most important? But you'll start to get a hang of this. Like, sometimes when you go to present this to a customer or client, a prospect, just showing them a little flavor of what they get, and then finding out what's most important to that particular business that they want to, and to deliver to potential customers and website visitors is probably going to be the next conversation, right? So, like, literally right off the bat, you go in, take a look at what you think is probably going to be the most best as that gap, and then you can always go back and adjust the bot later.
Absolutely. And a good example of this is like last week, somebody put a support ticket in. They had created a bot for like a local state sports association, like Scholastic Sports Association. And the webpage probably had hundreds, or the website had hundreds of web pages. And they had basically gone through and just given the bot like every web page all the URLs that it pulled up as context and knowledge. And sometimes like websites have older, outdated information on their website that's still there. Maybe they're not forward front facing pages anymore, but they're still part of the website. And what was happening was the user was asking about like the date of a specific tournament. And what was happening was giving the tournament dates for like 2 years ago. And I think what was happening was there was information about that tournament from 2 years ago on one of the pages that it scanned, but there was also information about the current tournament. So sometimes the bots can't tell the difference between what's current or what's new or what it should be giving you as the answer. So that's that's an example of like why you want to be careful with what information that you give the bot for knowledge and context, because it can just get confused, bottom line. All right, so here's the website. Obviously, we're going to scan, the home page here. There's not a ton of information on the home page. Home. And then if we go to about, meet the doctor, our team, and office. So these are probably all very good pages to, we got a little bio on the doctors, team, some information on the team members. That's pretty cool. And the office. Some, basic information on the office, insurance, payment options, those sorts of things. So those are probably all good pages. So let's do meet the doctors, our team, and office. So here's the home page. Meet the doctor, team, office. Let's go back and look now. Services. So we have all these, sub services pages. These are all probably pretty good to scan here. Some basic information. So let's find these service pages. We got here services, crowns and bridges, preventative dentistry. Actually, let's just get these in here first. And then we'll go back and get those. So services. Cosmetic dentistry. Okay. Save those. What else do we have here? I don't think we found we probably didn't pull up all these pages. They have aesthetic services. And I'm just going to go through this, in real time here. So okay. So we're just going to put these exact pages in for some of these. Add. This might be boring, but this is just the way it's done, Drew.
Yeah, well, this is real education. This is what we do. So don't expect it to be, any less exciting or even more exciting. I think this is a huge opportunity to learn how to go through this process to create practical and pragmatic AI assistants, chatbots that can be beneficial to pretty much any type of local business like this one, right? This is a professional, this is an actual service. This is how we go through and really take a look at the websites, and we are the purveyor of like, hey, what's possible here? You're building out and finding opportunities on the website. And as you're going through this, David, the value that you're bringing through this bot is also discovery, right? So like when somebody goes through this, it's going to be something brand new, and it's flattering to businesses when you present something like this that could be an additional tool that's going to help benefit that particular business. And sometimes when you scan the web page, it might find inconsistencies. It might find things that may or may not be serving that particular business at this given time, right? So a very brief history. Some of you may have heard this story in the past, but we were working with a local mortgage brokerage, and we built one of these bots for them. And they noticed that the telephone number that was coming up inside the AI assistant that we built for them was an old telephone number. And they're like, oh, that's the old telephone number. And, that's not our telephone number anymore. So here's the thing. We're building out a custom AI assistant on behalf of this particular business. And based upon the information that we pulled in from their existing website, it identified that the telephone number on that website was incorrect. And apparently this telephone number was incorrect for like maybe the last 7 years on their website. They haven't made any updates to their website whatsoever. And they were wondering why they weren't getting telephone calls directly from their website. So this bot, in going through this sequence, allowed us to identify an inconsistency or some incorrect information that they and their former website provider, website designer, put on their website. And they were wondering why their website wasn't performing for them, or why they wouldn't get telephone calls, as many telephone calls as they probably should have been receiving all along. So yeah, like this, a simple tool like this, powerful, it's a powerful tool that you can provide information and actually do a little bit of copywriting, right? And doing a little bit of editing from that particular website. Not that this is going to happen all the time, but an interesting way to leverage a tool like this to do a little bit of research on a business.
100%. So, keep in mind what I'm really creating here is like a rough draft, right? This is like something I can kind of put together somewhat quickly, maybe about a half hour. You can kind of, build one of these out, that's pretty basic, answers FAQs. And then I can take it to the business and kind of go over it with them, get some feedback, and then kind of go back and forth with them to kind of fine tune this thing and really get it, working in the way that they would like in terms of the types of replies and the way it's answering people. So really what we're creating here is kind of like a first draft, right? It's not going to be perfect right out of the gate. It does take, even though it's AI, Drew, it does take a little bit of work, right?
Yep.
Cool. So, we've given it a good amount of these web pages here. Let's take a look. I gave it the contact page. I think we'll skip the reviews for now. That's not that big of a deal. Meet the doctor. We've added those. So I think we got the majority of it in here. Good enough for now. The next thing is the prompt, right? So if we go to settings and AI configuration, the prompt is very, very important, right? So this is kind of like the instructions, the job description for this particular bot. And let me just save my changes here. Inside of AskSpot, you guys, everybody has access to this now. We have a brand new prompt generator that can help you actually build out a really nice instructional system prompt for your bots, right? And I'll kind of run you through how this works. So with the prompt that's here, this works really well, out of the box for customer service, FAQ type bots like we're building here. But we can get a bit more granular and specific with it to get better results. And we want to use the prompt builder here. So come in and really just going to need to start interacting with it. So you can start by just kind of simply explaining what you're looking to do. I need to create a simple customer service chatbot for, what's the name of the practice? I always forget. The Smart Smile Family Dentistry. Okay. So we'll put that in and just hit enter or hit send. And it's really just like having a conversation, right? So great to create a simple customer service chatbot for Smart Smile Family Dentistry. Let's start by gathering some information. What specific tasks or questions do you want the chatbot to handle for your customers? I would like this bot to handle simple everyday FAQs that website visitors may have. Maybe give us some examples. Things like, how do I make an appointment? Where are you located? What services do you offer? What insurance do you accept? Where can I buy patient forms? Questions similar to these. And we'll hit enter and kind of see what it comes back with. So thank you for providing details. Based on these FAQs, we can create a system prompt for your chatbot. Here's a draft. Do you want to add anything else to this? So yes, we do. One thing that is very important is that this bot never gives medical advice in any way. Also, I would like it to have a super friendly persona and also be sympathetic, whoops, when it makes sense. All right, so there you go. It's kind of built our prompt out. And what we can do is say, let's test this. So here's the prompt. And we have some options here. We can make it shorter. We can make it longer. So let's make it longer, which will be a little bit more detailed. Here we go. So one thing to keep in mind, some of you may not realize this, in terms of like cost for API usage, the longer the system prompt, the more it's going to cost you over time. Because what happens here is every time a message is either sent back and forth between your bot, this system prompt gets passed to the API, right? So if you have a system prompt that's, 10,000 characters long, every time that somebody interacts or a question is asked via your bot, that those 10,000 characters get passed to the API, and that adds to your API usage. All right. So keep that in mind. Try to keep your prompts detailed, but yet still as short as possible. So we'll go with this. Let's test this. There we go. So now what we can do, once we're satisfied with it, we hit the blue play button here. You can also copy this. So, you can save it to your prompt library, which is up here. So you can save it there, or you can just copy and paste. If you want to copy this to your clipboard, you can copy it and then go paste it. But let's first play with it a little bit. So we'll hit the play button. And when you do that, it adds it over here in the right-hand pane. So now what we can do is select a chatbot that we want to test this prompt with. So we chose the Smart Smile Family Dentistry bot. And then we're going to choose an AI model to use. And then we'll hit apply. Or actually, no, I'm not going to hit apply yet. We'll hit apply, but when you're done and you're satisfied, you hit apply, and this will add the prompt to your bot. But now we're just going to play with it a little bit. Say, hi, where are you located?
So now you're coming in as a potential user of the bot itself.
Right. We're just going to test it. We're going to test it using this prompt. So we already set up the bot with its context and knowledge. We did that before. We built our prompt here. We added it to our testing pane, and then we selected that bot to test with this prompt. We want to see, whether it's working in the way that we want. Because if it's not, we can go back and we can adjust this prompt. We can add to it. We can make it shorter. We can make it longer. Whatever we need to do, and then we can test it again until we're satisfied. So hello, we are located at blah, blah, blah. So it knows the address. Let's see, who are the docs? Doesn't have that information. Interesting. So that's something we can work with. How do I make an appointment? So to make an appointment with us, please give us a call. Our friendly staff will be happy to assist you. Now, was there a booking page? Schedule an appointment. So what we can do is we can make it, an adjustment here in the bot and give it this exact information on how to lead somebody to the contact us page for either to grab the phone number or to fill out the form for an inquiry. Okay. So you see the point here, though. You can create the prompt. You can test the prompt. If you're not happy with the prompt, you can work with it. You can add to it. You can remove stuff. You can make it longer. You can make it shorter, all those things. And you can go back and forth and test it and play with it until you're satisfied. Once you're satisfied, you just click apply here. And you can also click edit up here, and you can freeform type and add to it also. Another little option. But we hit apply. It's going to add this prompt to that bot. Boom. There we go, right? So now if we go back here, open this up, and it didn't add it for some reason. I don't know why it did not add it. Let's see. We'll just copy and paste it then. Copy. Check it that. That's why it's in beta, Drew.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Now it's added. It just took a second. Okay. There it is. So there we go. I'm going to change the model here to 4.0, smartest OpenAI model that works really well with these types of chatbots. And now, we can make some fine tuning adjustments here. So if we go to sources, let's see if there's any info on insurance here on their website. About team. Meet the doctors. Assume that was in here, right? Meet the doctors. Let's add this in again. Settings. Who are the doctors? All right. Well, let's give it some context. It's not picking up on that page for some reason. Who knows why? But all we really have to do is copy all this. Whoops. My copy and paste thing's going wonky. There we go. Copy this. Come in. We can go to text. And I think one thing, maybe it's picking up on, let's see, who are the No. Okay. Let's see if this helps. Huh. I'm
Maybe in that
stumped here.
document, you can say, here are our doctors. These are the
Yep.
doctors.
Yep. So that'll be the next step, right? For some reason, either oh, there we go. We got it. Thanks, Drew.
I'm good for something every once in a while.
Yeah, right. There we go. So now it's got some information about the doctors. Again, we can fine tune this. We can make it more detailed. All those things. We're really just trying to create a simple demo here. How about the appointment stuff, right? So just do a Q&A. How do I make an appointment? And let's get that link. We'll put the phone number. Make an the link. Okay. How do I make an appointment? There we go. Things like that. Just takes a little bit of fine tuning. What else can we ask? Patient forms. They have patient forms on here. Meet the doctor. They do not have patient forms as far as I can tell. Okay. Reviews, contact. Yeah, no patient forms. So that's something that we can look into with them. I think I bet you there's something that's commonly asked or thought, like, hey, can I fill these forms out before I come in to save some time? Things like that. So there we go. Like that's like kind of the basics of the setup. Now, obviously we can go in and we can, add our chatbot image here. I've already created an image from their logo. The little tooth guy, it looks blurry here, but it's a small image. Go. Right. Save that. Maybe we'll create a custom theme to kind of match the coloring and stuff on their website. They have this color here, this purple color. So I can grab the CSS code for that. I probably can't see my little CSS code picker, but it's just a Chrome extension. You can grab the color from a page. So come back here. add a theme. We will make this primary background color. Kind of matches the color scheme here. What other colors do we have? This greenish color.
Probably pick her scrub color.
I can do the powered by background. And then the message color. Don't judge my color coordination skills. They're not good.
You should see how I colored in kindergarten. I've got the same drawing and coloring skills, way out of the line. I love this. Being able to match this and make it aesthetically pleasing and matching of that particular website is it's like a superpower. Incidentally, David, what was the name of that Chrome extension that you had?
It's called ColorZilla.
ColorZilla.
There's a million of them out there. That's just one of them. You just do a search in the Chrome store for CSS color picking tool. There's millions of them. Not millions, but there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
But there we go. Let me just apply that theme. There we go. And I like the larger size chat bots with the more of the modern or clean look. I kind of just like that style better. And let me just adjust the footer text. Powered by text. We'll turn that white. There we go. Boom. Looks nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, how do you welcome somebody to the chatbot? There's a couple different ways that you can do that. What I'm talking about here is this initial message that is showing when somebody first opens up the pop-up, right? There's a message that can be waiting there for them. That's controlled. If we go to settings and then general, that's all set up right here. So you can build out a message that's just sitting there waiting when somebody opens up the chatbot, or there's also now a different way to do that, Drew, and that happens in the flow builder, right? So you can build out a custom welcome flow and attach it to that chatbot.
I like that.
Which is pretty cool, right? Maybe you want to, we're not going to be collecting information in this instance just because what I kind of mentioned before with, medical and privacy and stuff. We're not looking to collect any information at all, really. But if you wanted to, this could be a great way to do that. Maybe I can just kind of give you an example of what that might look like, right? So if we go to the flow builder here, we can create a new flow. And what we want to do is, someone's just kind of imagine it in your head. Somebody's clicking on that website. They've clicked on the chat widget and it opens up and we need to welcome them in some way. So Drew, give me a scenario that you want me to build out and I'll see if I can build it. A little challenge here. Like how would you like me to welcome people to that chatbot?
I think let's use your example, right? So let's just say I'm a parent of a child that has an emergent situation, right? I think one way is to welcome people and then ask if hey, can we answer any of your general questions, or is this an emergency? So there's kind of a this or that, kind of branching off into two types of scenarios. So does that make sense, or do you want something a little bit more basic?
I like that. I like that. Okay. So let me see here. Yeah, we're going to do multiple choice. And so basically, welcome. Actually, let's start this way. We'll get rid of multiple choice. Let's delete this. we'll just do message. Hi there. Welcome to our I'm an keep forgetting the name of this place. Smart Smiles Family Dentistry.
They should have a mascot naming contest for their tooth. It could be like Toofus, or instead of Rufus, it could be Toofus, or it could be
Toofus. Toofus. All right. Put a little wave emoji here, maybe. Right. Hi there. I'm an AI assistant for Smart Smile Family Dentistry. Let me actually just go back here. Hang on. What I want to do is put a little delay here. So we'll put a 5-second delay. That kind of slows things down a little bit, makes it seem a little bit more natural, because, you know, these bots are fast. And sometimes when it's like an instant reply, it just seems a little bit unnatural. So we're going to put a 5-second typing delay here, right? Now let's do multiple choice. I'm going to pull this in here. We're going to say, how can we help you today? Question mark. We're going to hit save. And now we're going to pull in an option. So an option is like an option for the multiple choice. So if you drop it here, you can add option 1 and then add option 2, right? So Drew, you're saying emergency, just like general questions. Emergency. All right, so we'll hit save. And it brings up our little testing widget down here. So if you click on it, as you can see, it says, hey there, I'm an assistant for Smart Smile Family Dentistry. How can we help you today? General questions, or I have a dental emergency, right? So basically, this is so simple. We can now, for the general questions, we're going to pull in what's called an AI mode block. So what this does is it kind of connects, it takes the person out of this flow and just connects them to the AI powered bot now, and they can ask questions like they normally would. So we pull in the AI mode, it connects here, right? And we can also put a message in here too, which says, great. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, or something like that, right? I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. Save. So if we save this and we run this again, general questions, typing, 5 seconds. Great, I'm happy to help you out, blah, blah, blah. Now you're in AI mode. So now you're just using the bot that we just set up, right? It just kind of connects you back to the bot, right? Now, what could we do for an emergency? So let's see if they have any information on that sort of stuff here. Contact. Maybe we'll just have to direct them to call the office, Drew. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yep.
Unless there's like an emergency number that they have.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. But again, this is like we're just building out a demo. This is the stuff that we're going to work out with the business afterwards and kind of fine tune this thing, right?
Yeah.
Some of these questions we're not going to have the answers to initially. Yeah, we're just going to direct them to call.
You could put like a temporary number like 555-1212, you know, for emergency situations like acute pain, or maybe there was trauma to the mouth, you know, tooth got knocked out, you know, there's a chipped tooth or something like that, where, you know, you could just put in kind of example type of text for those types of situations. So when you do present this to whoever you know, your friend is, or the dentist, the prospective dentist, that it starts to churn some ideas in their brain that like, maybe we want to include this, maybe you don't want to include this, you know, but you know, maybe that's a service that they do offer, like emergency dentistry late, and kind of like emergency plumbing or something like that. But yeah, I mean, at least you have a pathway to kind of show an example.
Yeah. Yep. Good thoughts there. All right. So we're going to pull in, let's add in, we'll just do a message. You have an
Incidentally, while David's doing that, can you see? Let us know in chat. Can you in the comments let us know? Can you see how this is starting to come together? Where you've got something of real value that you can add to, you know, a practice like this. And then the second part, or maybe the second question I'd like to ask is, like, what would you charge for something like this to a local dentist, right? To a local dentist office or some type of medical practice like this, that, you know, perhaps somebody starts to engage with a type of bot like this, and maybe you do have some type of, you know, engagement where you're asking some names and some email addresses and that sort of thing. Not that we're suggesting that you do that. It's totally going to be up to the client, but, you know, having an emergency like this and having a procedure, having a, you know, routine teeth cleaning and cavity fillings and, you know, root canals or implants and stuff like that, it can be very, very, very expensive, and a revenue driver for a lot of these businesses. So I'm curious, like, what you guys would charge for something like this, and, you know, just let us know that. Let us know that in chat. Thank you, Darren. Dara says she's loving the new flow and that this is very valuable.
Okay. I'm not going to take the business hours out of here, but put in phone number. There we go. Call us direct. So if you have an emergency and it's during our regular business hours, please call our office directly. If after hours, something like that, whatever it is, emergency ER, emergency room. Okay. This is just an example. And then we'll 5-second delay, hit save. And now we're going to return this option after the message to AI mode. So we're going to pull in AI mode here. And we'll just leave a message here. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Oh, and I to meet you. Something like that, whatever. So there we go. Save. Kind of a simple welcome flow. I have an emergency, 5-second typing delay, message, right? Call us directly. You got to click the call number right there, tap right on it, and then right into the AI mode. Hey, if you have any other questions, please let me know. It'd be great if I could type there, Drew, and I will try to point you in the right direction. But you get the point, right?
Yeah.
We'll save this. So now the question is, we've completed our welcome flow here. I'm going to go back, open up the bot, and the way that we connect this welcome flow to the bot is super simple. You're going to go to settings and then go to flow settings. Check this box because we want to use a flow to begin the conversation instead of the AI chat. And then just choose the flow. Welcome. Hit save. And now you'll see when we start this, and I can go ahead and actually delete this here. And it gets rid of that initial message. So now let's just start that again. Whoops. Didn't save it. Here we go. So there we go. There's our flow working, right? And now it's right back into the bot taking over, right? So now anything I type in here and ask will be utilizing the context and knowledge and AI to answer those questions, Drew.
Love it.
So
super helpful.
Yeah. Yep. Happy to answer any questions. Really just wanted to take you through that process. Let's see here.
There's a couple comments coming in based on my questions. Someone says it's better than the current bot platform I'm paying for now. Hey, we appreciate that. That's a very kind comment to put out there. We appreciate that. We've worked very hard on this. The team's done an amazing job. David's done an amazing job. Kim has been amazing. For those of you who are have gone through the onboarding process, have you reached out and had an opportunity to meet with and work with Kim? Let us know that in chat. Kim is watching this right now, and we think she's done an amazing job. And those of you who've gone through it, we'd love to hear what your feedback is about connecting with Kim. We don't always have the answers, but we're more than willing to investigate and try to troubleshoot along the way. And I know that Kim has done an amazing job doing that with a lot of folks that have decided to go through the orientation process. So again, those that are watching this in real time or catching this on replay, if you're not already using AskSpot, we invite you to come and check out AskSpot and certainly go through the onboarding call with Kim if you haven't already done so, because I think you'll learn a lot, and she'll walk you through the flow builder and obviously the new prompt engine as well so you get to understand how to use those features within the platform itself. But we've had some other comments here, David. Dara said she's not sure what she would charge. I think it depends on the client's need. Mike, I guess Teresa said, I just charged $250 to build out a bot because it was a lot more than just their web pages, than $50 per month. Congratulations, Teresa. That's awesome. Should probably charge more.
And also just, and another way to think about it too is like, anybody here offering like web development services? Do you offer services for building websites or, improving websites for local businesses or small businesses? If you do, hopefully you've got a recurring revenue model in place, meaning you're charging these businesses on a monthly basis for upkeep and maintenance and changes to the website and things like that. If you do, this is the easiest sell in the world. If you're selling web development services, it totally makes sense that you could take one of these widgets and add it to one of your monthly recurring revenue packages. So if you have a bronze, silver, and gold, maybe, it includes certain things, certain amount of updates or hours per month for making changes or working on the website, whatever it happens to be. You can just take a product like this, like one of these AI powered bots, and add it to one of those packages to add more value and just increase the cost a little bit, $20 a month, $25 a month. And you'll be amazed by how quickly you can generate a substantial amount more of recurring revenue by doing it this way. It just becomes part of what your service packages are. You don't have to make a big ordeal about selling this as a separate service and over explaining it to people and making them understand it. You just let them know that it's part of what we do. It's part of the package that you're buying, is that we're going to build out one of these. And for the $25 a month or the $50 a month for your hosting and, your security and all those things that we're doing for you on an ongoing basis, this is just part of it.
Yeah. I'm encouraged. I see some folks charging all kinds of different stuff, and none of it is wrong at all, right? I think it's very interesting to see the various types of potential charges. I mean, I think it was Teresa that said $50 a month. I mean, who here on this call right now, watching this live or even on the replay, who, based on $50 a month, who could use an extra, what is that, $600? If my math is mathing, that's $600 per year passively, right? You put one of these AI assistants and chatbots on a client like this, whether you're charging a setup fee or not setting up a setup fee, $600 passively every single year is lovely. I love hearing that. Even at $25 a month, an extra 300. I don't know about you, David, but every $300 that can go into our bank account I love it. Right? It's amazing when you've got that type of recurring revenue. And some folks are charging even more money. Let me see about the math on this one. Somebody said $79. That's like $950 extra for $79 per month. Now, let's just kind of take a look at this. And, I don't want to get in trouble with the FTC or anything, but, what is a value of a single client to a dentist like this, right? I mean, if you're very basic, what are they charging for teeth cleaning and an examination, right? There's always an X-ray and there's always the service and all that kind of stuff. I can assure you, those that end up getting root canal and end up getting, any sort of aggressive dental work, even the basics, right? That's pretty expensive, right? It just is. I know for an implant, it's like thousands of dollars for a single implant. Now, whether that particular dentist does that procedure or doesn't do that procedure, it is a multi-visit type of scenario. And surgery, and perhaps, I've actually gone through an implant situation where, I actually went under, right? So you've got anesthesia, you've got, both the anesthesiologist, and you've got the dentist involved. We're talking like $10,000, for a service like that. Do you think that they're going to sneeze at something like this that could be so beneficial in customer service, right? Yeah. And cutting down the amount of time that a potential visitor to a website might require when seeking out more information, right? And I think the beautiful thing that we never really consider is that these types of AI assistants are multimodal and can serve thousands of people simultaneously on a
90 different languages.
In 90 different languages. It boggles my mind that we have this amount of power, and some of us just don't know what we would charge for something like that. In this type of
And
situation, David, kind of gifting this to somebody, I think is a
sure,
very smart move.
of course, it cost me almost nothing. Great point by Teresa. My thinking is that people would rather ask a chatbot a question and get an immediate answer rather than perusing the entire website searching for the answer. I 100% agree with you. And honestly, like if you're selling any sort of web development services, like just add this to what you do. Make it a part of what you're selling. Like when you buy a website from me, it actually comes with this, right? It just makes sense. They go hand in hand. Let's see what else we got here.
David, I think somebody was asking, can you open up the Flow Builder and zoom in on the sidebar to kind of show them what types of, I don't think they've been using the Flow Builder yet, but can you show them what's inside the Flow Builder?
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to go through the whole Flow Builder right now, but I will show you what's there. There's, we have, it's a basic message block, question block. This allows you to collect data and actually export it out of AskSpot into other platforms like CRMs or email marketing platforms, or wherever you want, really, using webhooks. Multiple choice, which we showed you here. The AI mode, which we showed you here. You can do images. We have a video block, URL, which is just like a link. Our forms. You can create forms in AskSpot. Flows, so you can basically add a block here, which you can make another flow trigger and start working automatically by connecting our flow block. Gallery, you can do galleries and sliders of videos and images. Webhook helps you export data out. You can do an audio block. So if you want to put like a podcast or an audio message in your bot, you can do that. Buttons, you can add like a list of different buttons that link off to other URLs or actually trigger other flows. And then we're going to be adding to this too. There's appointment booking coming, in the near future. You'll have conversational appointment booking that's coming soon. So that's what's there now. We're in beta still, and still kind of fine tuning stuff, but really easy to just build out. Rather simplistic, but yet flows that can be kind of complex too, Drew.
Yeah, 100%. And there's so many things that you can do with this, guys. I was at an AI event just last week, and the number of people that I'd met there, and simply going through my business card and the opt-in process and the whole kind of thing, they were blown away. They're like, "How do I get one of these?" Right. So from the marketing and sales perspective, simply creating an AI-powered business card can be a huge and massive way for you to help other people. Like, who here has a business card? Let us know in the chat. Right. So it's like creating these types of bots that David just built out is one way to go about doing it. Another way to let people know that you're doing this kind of stuff is simply use, and create a flow. It's a very basic flow. And then showing people what your bot looks like by, attaching a QR code to your business card. So when they scan it, they're opening up a chat bot that relays information much more than what your business card can handle, right? Like a lot of people just get the insinuation of what you do from your business card, but could you just create an incredible business card that has just a QR code on it? Like, hey, you want more information? This is what we do,
Yeah.
And that's like, if anybody's doing any type of networking, if you're going to any type of Chamber of Commerce event, if you're going to any Rotary, if you're going to any meetup group and you've got a business card and, hey, here's a little bit more information about Teresa. Here's a little bit more information about Dara, whatever, right? Like all the things that you're into, right? There's like, it's immersive. It's a huge opportunity for you to do some interesting things on it. And the next question that typically happens is, it's typically a statement like, oh, that's the coolest thing that I've ever seen. How do I get one of those? Like, how many of you are attending events? I know it's like a big sticky thing. Nobody likes to go to events anymore. And when you do that kind of stuff, like, it's like it takes the onus off of you of having to do DMs and having to do cold email and having to shoot Loom videos and all that stuff works. But when you're in the moment, when you're going and going to conferences and going to expo centers and whatever it might be, right? If you're going to these meetups, this is a huge opportunity to actually demonstrate the cool stuff that you guys are creating, right? Like, it just, the imagination starts to take over. Could you add pictures? Could you add videos? Could you add links to other flows to talk about the products and services that you've got, right? This is like where it starts. And I think what David just showed is just another cool way of building out a custom AI assistant and chatbot using, the prompt generator, using the flow builder, and certainly teaching and educating the bot itself and AskBot about that particular business through the website, source, data and sources that you provided to it.
And the cool part is, like, it doesn't have to be complicated to be useful. So if you're somebody who likes to overcomplicate things, try not to. Keep it simple. Just help people find the answers to the common questions that this business has to deal with on a day in and day out basis. Save that business time, and also save that potential customer time when they're on their website to get easier access or easier answers to the questions that they have. As simple as that. It doesn't have to do everything. It doesn't have to book appointments. It doesn't have to, cross-verify somebody's insurance to see if we take your particular insurance. It doesn't have to do any of that. When somebody asks a question like that, you just simply direct them to call the office. Super, super simple. So here's a magic trick too. So I'm going to spend some time after we get off today kind of fine-tuning this a little bit and kind of getting it ready to send off. But once you're ready to do that, here's a cool magic trick. If you go to the Share tab, okay, you can then go to the Demo tab in the sub menu here. And all you got to do is take the website URL of the business, put it in here, and hit Create Link. Okay. And if you connect a custom domain to AskSpot, the link that we give you will use your domain and not ours. Okay. So it's white labeled. Just click View Demo and check this out. Just like magic, you can now take the link up here in the address bar, send it off to that prospect or that client who you're working with to kind of get this built out. And now they can experience it on their own website. Look at that. Looks beautiful. Like, it matches their color and their aesthetic and color scheme of their website. And they can actually experience it how their customers and prospects will experience it on their actual website. Now, there is a caveat to this. Some websites this does not work on. If the website blocks or does not allow iframing, this little magic trick feature will not work. So we always recommend just testing it first before you actually, don't just create the link and send it off. View the demo, make sure it does work. If it doesn't work, there'll be like an error message that says we can't connect. That means that particular website does not allow iframing. And that's kind of like the little technology trick that we use to make this happen. But what's neat is when it does work, like, it's indistinguishable from their actual website. It's, you can click around, this whole thing works.
Yeah. And a footnote on that is, this is, a prospecting type of tool. If it's a website that's out there, if we're looking to embed this on their website at some point, it's going to work. It's just that that particular website may or may not allow for iframing. So just know that
just what
the tool works.
Dara asked. Yeah. So Dara, if the iframing trick doesn't work, that does not mean that we cannot add it to their website. It 100% can. That just means that particular website does not allow the iframing, which we use to kind of make this little magic trick happen. But you absolutely can install it even if that doesn't work.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this guy NFT collector says won't work on Canvas sites. It may not. I have not tested on a Canvas site, but they probably may not, allow iframing. It's possible. There's other workarounds. We found that you can iframe over Yelp listings, um, TripAdvisor listings, things like that. Um, but we're really just kind of trying to demo it. And if that doesn't work, you can still send them the direct chatbot link. So if we go back and you go to code, you can just take this link here and you can send them this too. So they can at least play around with it and see how it works, right? And then above and beyond that too, you may want to have your clients involved in the process of fine tuning and training your bots. And what's cool is you can actually do that. So if you go to chats and you go to chat settings, you can actually create a shareable link that you can share with your clients so they can view and see all the interactions and chats that are happening within their bot, right? So we click save. If we take this link, and again, if you connect a custom domain to AskBot, this will be your domain and not ours, right? So if you take that, load it in here, boom, there you go. There is the chat logs. You can just share this link with your client or prospect, and they can kind of go through and read all the interactions and chats that the bot has taken care of for them, right? If you want to go a step further, you can actually password protect this page. I just entered in a password here. We'll save that. And watch when we go back here, if we refresh, it's now going to ask me for a password. If I put that password in, it opens up the page, but there's something a little different here now. You'll notice that we've added, because we password protected it, we've added the ability for your clients to actually go ahead and change and update the manual Q&A. So imagine somebody asked, hey, I have a dental emergency, and this was the reply that AI gave them. If that was not the right way it should have answered, you or your client can go in and click this. It'll add the question here, and then they can actually fine tune or give the correct response that AI should use the next time and hit save. And as soon as they hit save here, it'll add that Q&A. So we hit save. We go back and go to sources. As you can see, that Q&A has been added here. And there's no worries, like if it's not correct or you want to edit that, you can always come in and delete it or edit it or make changes to that. But it's a really easy way to get your clients and customers involved in the process of making sure that this bot is giving proper responses to people's questions.
Yeah, I love that feature. That's kind of funny. I never even considered NFTs, but NFT collector just brought that to my mind here. Yeah, embed a QR code in your NFT. You know, it makes it even that much more interesting when somebody's looking at your NFT collection. It's kind of funny, right? So you can take these QR codes to museums. You can take them to, zoos. You can do it to even like local restaurants, all kinds of interesting things. Deploying one of these custom AI assistants that teaches somebody about that particular piece of art, or maybe the enclosure for a particular animal that's at a zoo. I mean, there's so many ways that you can take and teach and educate people around it's almost like the Internet of Things, right? So when somebody scans that QR code, it opens up one of these bots and they can learn about the business or the practice or their products and services. So many ways here. And then, you've got Intel, you've got, the feature that you just shared, David, is it gives you and that business insight as to how people are actually engaging with those AI assistants and chatbots, and they can tweak things. It's very interesting. Like, unless you're like super nerdy and understand website analytics and heat maps and all this other kind of stuff. Like, this is a super easy, practical way, and in some cases, probably much more immersive of being able to see how people are interacting with that particular bot, and situational ways to use that in different settings, meetups, and all kind of cool stuff. I think we're really just in its infancy. But guys, what do you guys think about today's session? Was this helpful for you today to kind of dive back deep into this, building out a custom AI assistant and chatbot for a real local business? Like, this is a dentist that David is actually going to be reaching out to and gifting them this chatbot is a very interesting way to kind of promote your business and agency. Now, I guess the final question, and maybe it's more rhetorical, is once this business or a business like this, imports this and puts it on their website, or maybe their business cards or whatever it might be, you then have branding, right, for your particular chatbot. And based upon their experience on it, they're going to be an influencer inside their community. They're going to be talking about it. There's going to be other people. There's going to be obviously business owners that are going to be interacting with this as well. What an amazing opportunity to spread the word about, how you've built out one of these chatbots, and they're probably going to be interested in one for their business as well. Incidentally, guys, all right, I've lost your mic there, David.
I was muted. Sorry about that.
That's all right. There you go. Incidentally, we do have a school group. If you're not part of that already, we highly encourage you to join us over in our Ask Spot school group. If you want to be notified about these upcoming Build-A-Bot sessions, and you want to showcase your bots, you've got questions and interesting things that come up in your business around AI assistants and chatbots and agents and all that kind of stuff, that's the place to be, right? So we do appreciate everybody coming out and checking this out live. If you're here live, you're catching this in replay, let us know that in the comments as well. But until then, let me just drop that. Kim, if you're here, can you just drop that link? There you go.
I just did.
Yeah, cool.
All set. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Until next time, appreciate you. Let us know if you need any help. As always, too, you can book an onboarding call or a help call with Kim, and she'll spend a half hour with you answering any questions you might have, or if there's anything you're stuck on or don't understand. She can kind of guide you through anything there. But until next time, thanks so much. And we'll add the replay of this into the school group momentarily. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.